United States Championship match. John Cena versus Kevin Owens at WWE BATTLEGROUND 2015. This is the match for the last few shows I have said is the reason why I'm watching it. Honestly, when it came down to it at Elimination Chamber 2015, I said it out loud that if this match wasn't on the show, I wouldn't have probably watched. It didn't seem like it was a must-see WWE Network special. I would have checked it on down the road, but I didn't need to watch it live that night. But knowing that Kevin Owens was going to be making his WWE debut against John Cena, it seemed like a really must-see thing to see a guy like Kevin Steen who climbed from the bottoms all the way to the tops, and for so long people said that, you know, he had the goods to wrestle in WWE, but he didn't have the body. Now here he is. He shot through NXT. He's making his debut against the biggest guy in the company. He seems to be one of Triple H's major guns. I want to see what they do with this guy right off the bat, especially with the mystique that follows around John Cena of never being able to beat this guy. At Elimination Chamber, Owens was able to get the win. Of course, then they would redo it at Money in the Bank, where Cena's able to get the best of Owens, tying it up, and this is going to be the rubber match. Battleground. 1-1. Who's going to win the big one? Best of 3. In my mind, this really seems like this is going to be the end of the John Cena versus Kevin Owens storyline. In the past few weeks, they've built up big contenders to the United States Championship. It's almost like John Cena has done his job. It seems that Cesaro isn't really in the hunt to be United States Champion. You've got Rusev, in the hunt for it. Kevin Owens wants that belt. You know, the United States Open Challenge that they ran on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, I'm sure they used the gimmick on house shows, has really brought guys out of the woodwork. We got to see guys who normally are used in weird spots. I really wish we would have finally got to see Heath Slater versus John Cena. Honestly, in my mind, they should have done that match. I hope it's on SmackDown. I always want to say it's still on Thursday, so I'm not used to the fact that SmackDown aired tonight. But I didn't read the spoilers. I didn't watch a review of it tonight, and I didn't definitely watch the show. But the Slater versus Cena storyline was always really, really good to me. But in my mind, if you were to ask me a week ago, I really thought that this was a lock. Kevin Owens was going to beat John Cena. John Cena would use the last part of July and the early part of August to go out and promote his movie, Trainwreck, which is coming out here, which is the big movie that stars Amy Schumer, big star of Comedy Central, the Amy Schumer Show. I watched that show to fall asleep a lot. I really think that she's really, really funny. And I honestly have this on a list of movies that I just need to see. It's not because Cena's in it. It's not because LeBron James is in it. I want to see Amy Schumer, and I want to see how good this movie really is. I think that she's really, really funny. But, John Cena, you'd say, like, well, what's he going to do at SummerSlam? He's got to be a part of it. Easily, in my mind, you can announce John Cena against anybody on the WWE roster, and he could be a part of a match at SummerSlam with no real build to it. And people are going to care because he's John Cena. He doesn't need a real big push him out, go and get him. But Kevin Owens winning the United States Championship, he could go up against Cesaro, who seems to be still going with the babyface push. I don't really know what they were doing with Rusev, building him up last week, and maybe they're just looking to build him up to kill off Dolph. A match that I thought was going to be taking place at Battleground was Dolph versus Rusev, but they got so many guys. Everybody from the United States title hunt isn't even being used, no matter how good they looked on Monday Night Raw in any fashion. So that was a little bit weird. But honestly, at Comic-Con, when William Regal announced that there was going to be a rematch at NXT SummerSlam weekend, the TakeOver Brooklyn special, Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor, I know that it's only a rematch. I'm just a little skeptical about Kevin Owens going back to NXT. Of course, he would have had to work the tapings, which I believe was airing, taping tonight for the next run of NXT shows. He's probably going to have to be built back down there, building up this big show. Does he show up with the United States Championship? And I just have a whole lot of questions. I've really started almost talking myself out of picking Owens to win this match and win the title. John Cena, it seems like he's done everything in the world with the United States Championship. He's done almost everything to bring that belt back to life. I don't really know what much there is for him to do. I want to see Owens as champion. I just don't really think that WWE, Vince McMahon, is going to want to send their United States champion to the developmental brand NXT to show up and lose to Finn Balor. And I don't think there's any chance in the world that Finn Balor is not winning that match, that NXT title. That title match at NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn. They're going to be running the same venue as SummerSlam. There's going to be a lot of fans there. It's going to be a big ordeal on the WWE Network on the big stage. Finn Balor is the man for NXT and the NXT brand. They've gone through a few different champions, whether if it's been Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Becky Langston, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bo Dallas. All of these guys have been building the brand up, and now they finally have that true, real main eventer as their guy. They snatched him away from New Japan. They gave him the big build-up to the Beast in the East special, and you can tell that, Finn Balor might not keep that championship forever, but when he does, he's going to be that man, and I don't see him dropping that championship right back to Owens. So Owens being the United States champion, going there and wrestling against Finn and losing is not in my plans, and I don't really know what they're going to do with this match. I'm not really that crazy about them doing a SummerSlam match of Owens versus Cena, but then if you think about, how much they're not going to want to double book Owens. I know that he's like the hot thing right now, but do you really see Owens going in and having a match booked for the NXT special and then also having a match at SummerSlam? Because, so many, matches on pay-per-views this last year, we've seen them, get tripped up due to injury. And what would happen if Owens did sustain an injury at the NXT show and then he wasn't able to go onto the big stage on SummerSlam and wrestle? What do you do to save that big match if it's for the United States Championship or it's something that people actually really want to see? I don't think that they're going to put SummerSlam into danger and take that United States Championship match off of there, because look at how much they've done to build up the United States title. They've actually got competitors. They've actually got contenders to go after it right now. Cena has defended that belt on almost every Monday Night Raw and every SmackDown since WrestleMania 31. And for them to be building up to SummerSlam and take the United States Championship off of the show, it's almost going to give Vince that excuse of nobody wants to see this title. So many times we've seen the Intercontinental title or the United States Championship put into a place where nobody sees it on a pay-per-view just because WWE skipped over it when they were booking the show and just said, who cares, whatever. And that's when the United States title and the Intercontinental title fell into this place where nobody cares about the championship anymore. It's just in a spot where nobody believes it. If I didn't do a video talking about Ryback's injury, if you would have asked me right now, I probably would have got wrong, or I probably would have been pretty stumped at who the United States and Intercontinental Championship titles were on. But as I was a kid, I could close my eyes, spin around in a circle for a minute, and still be able to get my mind around who the titles were, because they meant something. And that's what WWE's trying to build up to. So I got no clue what's going to happen. I'm going to pick Owens because I want him to win. And I think that's going to be good for the WWE and good for the future of the WWE. But honestly, in my mind, every day I'm talking myself into John Cena winning this match a little bit more and more.